If you could have a drink with anyone in the theater world, who would it be? I'm Anthony Caporale, and I'm running through my list. Each week, I'll sit down with cast members, bartenders, and personalities from New York's theater district and get a behind-the-scenes look at what it's like to live, work, and play on Broadway. Come have a drink with us on Broadway Bartender. Welcome to Broadway Bartender. My name is Anthony Caporale. We are at New World Stages in the heart of New York's theater district, home to my show, The Imbible, A Spirited History of Drinking. And this week, we are making drinks from New Orleans. And as usual, you'll figure out why when you see who our special guests are. So the very first drink I'm going to make today is a hurricane, and that's probably the most famous of the New Orleans drinks. And it's actually a rum drink made with passion fruit juice. So I'm going to start by filling my mixing tin about halfway with ice, and I'm actually making 3 of these. So I'm gonna go, I'd probably normally do about 2 ounces per drink, but this is a big drink, so I'm just gonna do about 1 ounce per drink for this version. And then passion fruit juice. This is really what makes it a hurricane. And I'm doing about 2 ounces per drink. And then I want the juice of 1/2 of a lemon to balance out the sweetness of that passion fruit juice. So I'm going to do 3/2 of a lemon. And then I need a little bit of simple syrup in there, just to counter that lemon juice. And I'm not going to put very much. I'm just going to do about 1/2 ounce for the whole thing. And then I want to shake this up really, really well, because this drink should almost taste like it was blended, not really in a blender, in what we call a post blender, but kind of whipped up froth is how I like my hurricanes. And when that's nicely frothed, I'm going to fill up 3 glasses with ice. I can smell that passion fruit already. And then strain this into my glasses over the fresh ice. And I like a nice fresh lime wheel to garnish this drink. And this is our hurricane made in honor of our guest show this week, Sweetie. And we have 3 cast members from Sweetie joining us. We have Jordan Tyson, who plays Sweetie, Jelani Aladdin, who plays Cat Jones, and Jeremiah James, who plays Reverend Dan. And I didn't make you a drink because I don't know that I can.
I was sitting here
Legally, right? I can't make you a drink, but I can. I just can't make you a hurricane. So I love actually making virgin drinks or mocktails. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and make a virgin version, say that 3 times fast, a virgin version, I'm going to stop saying it, of the hurricane. And this is sort of my go-to drink when people can't have fruity rum drinks. I make this version. And our producer, Carlin Connolly, named it a tropical depression, which I think is really cool.
That's great.
Right, because that comes before hurricanes.
That's right. Absolutely.
Right, so you're going to see some similarities between what I made.
Not that you're depressing.
No, but it's a little depressing. You can't. But yeah.
1 more year.
1 more year,
Yeah.
and then it will be a hurricane.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, this is just a medley of fruit juices, and I actually love this drink. I make this for my niece and my nephew all the time, and I'm going to go ahead and put passion fruit juice, and I'm just doing about 1 ounce. You really can't screw this drink up, and I just put all the fruit juices in it. So I'm doing some nice fresh orange juice, and then I'm going to do some fresh pineapple juice. You can do cranberry juice, whatever you happen to have. And the other thing that I like to do with this is to give it just a little bit of texture. We actually have some cranberry juice right there. I'm going to do some lime for balance. Again, this is sort of like the kitchen sink of fruit juices. But to just kind of give it a little bit more interest, I'm going to also add some coconut milk. Does that work for you? Yeah. And this is actually a blend of coconut and almond milk.
Amazing.
Good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going to shake this up.
She'll go home and make it later.
Yep.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully.
And this gets really creamy and really frothy. Really enjoy this. And just like we did with the hurricanes, over some fresh ice. And I'm going to give you the same.
That does look good.
Mine's better than your real one.
This is real. Nothing wrong with that. There you go. And let's try that. And folks, thank you so much for joining us here on Broadway Bartender.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To a
New
hurricane
Orleans.
depression.
Yeah,
I like that.
Oh, that's
Really?
great. So tangy.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
It's a good drink, yeah. Okay, so why did I make New Orleans drinks?
I don't
That's
know. Why
where
did
we're headed.
I don't know. Well, because that's where most of Sweetie takes place, I would say,
Okay.
actually.
Yeah.
We start in South Carolina, in a good old place of Claytonville. We meet these two characters.
Really?
Yeah. And then we all get together and we travel to New Orleans to try to become a big music band.
It's all about the music, yeah.
So it's about people trying to make it in the music business. Is that what the show is about?
Essentially, I mean, basically, it's the Reverend Dan is a character that I play, and it's actually loosely based off of a real man who brought orphans, African American orphans, together and made a band, and they traveled all over the world. He's a bit of a flawed character. He made a great deal of money, made it for himself, not necessarily the children that he was supposedly helping at the time. And so it's loosely based on that, and he takes these young children down to New Orleans where, you know, as he puts it, everybody's all mixed in there in different cultures, and it was a place that they might be embraced. And because, you know, music is truly the heart of New Orleans, even to this day, it was the place that they felt they would have the best opportunity to rise. And that's kind of how it all began.
So it sounds like he was not in it to be benevolent and altruistic. He was looking to make a buck for himself.
The original character, yes, was more in it for himself, and he gained huge amounts of money and fame in what he did. But this version of the story, he's a flawed character, but he's not necessarily truly out for himself. He really does care about these children. He does want to help them grow. So in Sweetie the Musical, it's very much, you know, he's a sweeter guy, I guess you might say.
And we really are following Jordan Tyson, who plays Sweetie here.
Okay, so tell me about the title character.
So Sweetie, Sweetie is this girl who just, her voice is what catches people. She goes out every single day to sing and to make a little coin or two, you know. And so Reverend Dan overhears her one day and invites her to come down and maybe think about joining his band because they need a little help. And eventually she decides to do it, and this has been a struggle for her. She, Jelani and I were talking before, she just has this recurring motif of asking, can I stay here? Because she's going through some turmoil, and ultimately she lets her voice guide her and bring her to where she needs to be. So.
She wouldn't have got anywhere without the help of Cat Jones.
So I was going to say, yes, because you introduced
that character and that character.
the show. Yeah.
Perfect segue.
So what does Cat Jones? How does Cat Jones figure into it?
So Cat Jones, in the late 1930s, actually, it was very popular for a lot of African American men to be traveling musicians, and this Cat Jones, his father was, in the story, he talks about his father riding the boxcars and actually traveling to different stations and playing his horns, telling stories, and kind of like the Chitlin circuit almost, as a way to make money. And so that is his profession, and he comes across these kids at a train station one day and tries to make money off of them and realizes they're actually orphans and don't have any money. So instead, what he tries to do is try to teach them about music. And they end up falling in love with the music that he brings to them. He actually is the one who brings jazz music to the musical. I think Reverend Dan focuses mostly on like church hymns and
very much church hymns and, you know, classics.
Yeah, the boring stuff.
Exactly. The boring stuff.
So Kat comes in and meets Sweetie, who has this amazing instrument. Of course, naturally, any musician that meets someone who they deem of high level, they get along and they become lovers. And, you know, there comes a point in the story where Sweetie has to choose between going to continue on the journey with Reverend Dan or becoming part of Kat Jones's band. And sadly, she chooses the Reverend. But that's all we'll give away. That's all we'll give away.
All right.
That's it.
Yep.
Cool. So is the story the sort of dilemma in choosing these two paths for Sweetie, or is there?
There are more paths that she has to choose from
Right.
as well, but these are pretty prominent ones that she has to decide between.
Yeah, and it's also the difficulty and it's not necessarily a love triangle by any standard of the imagination. It's, you know, Reverend Dan rescued her from a difficult situation,
for sure.
you know, taking her on and bringing her into his band of orphans because of this incredible singing voice that he has. So, but it's not, the difficulty in choosing is her allegiance to Dan for what Dan did for her and choosing between that and her true love, Kat Jones. So that's what the difficulty is in those moments.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what's pretty cool about all three of these characters is that even though we're all of three very different races, like I'm a black man, he's a white man, this is a biracial woman. In 1938, you know, that defied where we stood socially in the ladder, but that does not necessarily defy where we are economically on the ladder. And I think what's interesting is that all three of these characters are trying to rise up out of their situation, and it just so happens that they are each of a different, you know, skin color, or each of a different.
So
social
economically, they're equals.
Yeah.
Socially, there are vast differences.
Right.
Absolutely.
But they all have a common goal.
Right.
That's right.
Wow, what an amazing
Yeah.
dynamic.
Yeah.
That's
Right? Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
So are there other are there musicians in the show, or is it really about its singers, or?
Yeah, so we actually have, I actually had to play the harmonica in the show, and I had never picked up the harmonica before. So the first day of rehearsal, he was like, here's harmonica, play it. And I was like, and actually that's kind of a moment that happens in the play. I come out with these instruments with these, the other orphans. There are 5 of us in total.
Yep.
And someone plays the saxophone, the violin, the clarinet.
All on stage.
The
All on
washboard.
stage. The washboard, the banjo, the drums, all on stage, yeah.
I have to say though,
Wow.
I genuinely, I thought you had played that harmonica
Really?
forever. Like, I mean, when
No.
you first played, I was like, all right. I was like, oh boy.
I mean,
Now I'm even
it's
more
all smoke and
impressed.
mirrors,
It's all
smoke
more
and mirrors.
You
because
guys
they
saw
asked me
my
in the audition,
tambourine
and they were
skills.
like, "Do you play an instrument?" I was like, "Absolutely not."
about that.
Nope, not even a little.
I tried once. I bought the harmonica and the book. And as soon as they got to like, you got to make the air go through that one hole, I was like, no, this is not for me
Yeah.
at all.
It's
So,
really difficult, and also it's kind of interesting. What's been hard is like playing the harmonica and then going straight to singing. They're 2 different breathing techniques. So I'm like, I find myself at a loss of breath often, and so I'm trying to work that out still.
wow.
So impressive.
Okay, so I have to ask you, Jordan, you, from just the little that we've talked about, obviously we know you're not 21 yet, so
Yeah.
you're, starting out in your career. This role is about someone who is just so amazingly talented with their instrument that they blow people away. So is that intimidating to you? Is that something that you like relish the challenge of? How do you approach like that? That's got to be part of your character, but it's also part of Jordan, right?
For sure. I think that it never really scared me because I'm just trying to live this girl's life, you know, and I look up to her because she has so much confidence, and that's always hard to have, especially when you're going into this business. But she's just inspiring because she has done. You will see. I won't give it away, but she has escaped so many things by just believing in herself. And if I can take anything away from her, it will be that. And I just.
Do you think that?
While she's in finals.
So what are you doing right now? Where are you? What are you doing when you're not in the show?
Right now, I am Tuesdays and Thursdays were my class days. So I would go to class from 11:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. and then go to rehearsal downtown at 4:30 to 8:30. And I'm also an RA. So this week we're checking people out of the residence halls.
Oh wow!
It's pure willpower and prayer.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And then you've got us. We're so tired. It was a rehearsal all day today.
How did you get this gig?
Actually, someone at my school is very good friends with Pat Birch, Pat Simon, and Pat Birch was looking for a biracial girl who can sing, and she found me, and I literally auditioned for her in my one of my school's classrooms.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, last year we did the reading, and now I was like, I don't want to hear about if it's going anywhere else. It was an honor to do it, and then she was like, hey, we're moving it. We're thinking about you, and here we are.
We auditioned together. Her and I actually had our auditions together, and I remember we went in to read, and I thought she was, you know, a professional who'd been in the business forever. I mean, she came in, was a total rock star. You know, those things, you know, especially in a callback situation with other actors, you know, it can be intimidating even for us who've been in the business a long time, and for her to walk in, she was like, you ready? You good? Yeah? I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. Let's rock. You know, and then I come out, well, all of a sudden we're in the show together, and I find out she's, you know, a sophomore in college. I was like, oh my God. But I remember sitting outside listening to her sing and shaking my head and being, I mean, truthfully, it could not be more perfect for her. I mean, her voice is so phenomenal. She's such an incredible performer. And that's true. Listen, facts are facts, my dear. Those are just facts.
So where's the show playing?
We're going to be at the Signature Center here on 42nd Street, and we're going to be at the Ford Foundation Studio Theater. And it'll run all the way through June the 18th. We're really excited about it.
Wow, congratulations. That's wonderful.
Thank you very much.
So you have a Broadway debut coming up, yes?
I do. I am very fortunate that I will be a part of Frozen, the musical, which will be very exciting.
Wow, Frozen, the musical.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. But yeah, and I'm very fortunate to be a part of this too. You know, when I first heard about the show, I was like, Pat Birch is directing it. I have to be a part of it. I have. She is a master at her craft. I mean, this woman who's like sitting in a chair with a replaced hip, freezing. She's like, and she's directing the crap out of the show. You know, it's like, it's incredible how she's able to command a room with like, and she's like this small.
Yes.
So yeah.
How did you find out about it? I mean, how did you even get the opportunity?
Well, I was like, you know, as any actor does, trolling Playbill.com because, like, you know, you do that. And I was like, oh, this show seems interesting, and that seems like an interesting character, and I'm a huge fan of developing new work. That's what I love to do. And so I, like, texted my agent, and I was like, hey, like, do you have, does a breakdown come out for this? And she was like, yeah, I'll submit you, or I'll ask Michael Casera, who casted the show, if he would like to see you for the project. And I went in, and I don't know, I just really liked the character. I was like, this seems like it could be a good fit. And then I had a call back also at Jordan where Pat said, just sing to her. Sing something to her.
Oh, it was amazing. I got like serenaded the first time I met him, and I was like, okay.
There's the chemistry. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool.
Wow. And so what was your path to the show?
My agent called and said, you know, we submitted you for this show called Sweetie, and we think it's a great fit for you. And I went in for my audition, and again, it was with Jordan, and that was it. And I got the call a couple weeks later, and they were like, yeah, they'd really love you to be a part of it. And now here we are, you know, running. And I want to say that you were at the audition that we had.
Yeah.
You were waiting outside.
Sounds
You were
like
waiting.
they knew who the cast was gonna
I'm
be.
serious. I'm almost positive because, like, we did our audition, and I left. They kept her, and I came out, and you were the only person in the hallway.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive
It had to
was
be
you.
because I was only there one day.
There you go. So it was the same day.
Wow, look at that.
So it's all
stars
it's all
aligned.
coming together.
So you've done some stuff in the West End before this.
Yeah,
And tell me a little bit about what you were doing before Sweetie.
So my path to England was wild. I mean, it was just one of those things that as an actor, you know, these kind of crazy stories. I was doing a show out at Gateway Playhouse of all places, and then got a call.
Well. I grew up on Long
There you go.
Yeah,
so you know, Camp,
absolutely.
everybody knows Camp Gateway, and I was out there. I was
Gateway.
doing a production of Sinatra, actually, and got an audition for what they were going to call the Broadway Four, and it was going to be this pop group, and not thinking that I would ever get the job or anything, and I just kept getting, you know, called back, and then they were like, we need you to come to England to do final callback. I was like, what? And so I went, and they actually let me out of my contract at Gateway, and I'm always so grateful to them, because had they not done so, I never would have happened. And from doing that show to 6 months later, I was shaking hands with the Queen of England on national television, and you know,
Did you really?
It was madness. It was absolute madness. Yeah. And then from there, I had the unbelievable honor of being cast in a brand new revival of Carousel. opposite Al Silver and a woman named Leslie Garrett, who's a very famous opera diva in England, and then did that show for about a year on the West End. And,
Do you want to give us a couple of bars?
Very humble. Another hurricane. And it was very humbling, and I loved my life there. I loved performing in the West End, and you know, miss my bandmates. We still perform together, but not as much as we'd like to.
So obviously you mentioned you like doing new works. You've done new works before. You have done new works. Is this your first experience developing a new show? Or
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's incredible, and to be completely honest, coming and dealing with my crazy school schedule, the best part has been the cast and the creative team, because you just walk in there and pay out. No, but I don't know. It's just the energy that they give every single day is like nothing else. And in times where I feel like I have no clue what's going on, they are there to be like, hey, you're doing a good job, or pushing me to just find what I need to do.
So I know what I obviously love doing new works. Also, that's how I cut my teeth. It's what I enjoy doing. Right up to today, we're putting up a new show. It's our brunch version show. And one of the things that's frustrating, I know, to our actors is just the amount of revisions and changes. And you'll spend, you know, weeks learning a line or a song, and then, hey, it's gone, or it's different. Do you find that to be challenging? Is that something that you enjoy, or is it, you know?
I do enjoy it because it makes me think about, I've been thinking about this thing this way, and now you give me something else, and what does that say about this whole thing that we've created? As simple as one line could change why I'm coming into this place now. So it's kind of exciting.
Has that
to me.
happened? I mean, you've experienced that in this.
All the time. Yeah, absolutely.
Happened yesterday. Here's some new lyrics. All right, make it
Mike's
work.
supposed to
Make
say
it work.
something
Here's
else.
your new speech.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure it takes a certain kind of actor to be okay with that, because you know, I know some people get really thrown once they learn something. They want to just do it.
Well, that's the dream, isn't it? To be able to create something that's from you, of you, about you, for you. I mean, it's like, it's you know, every time that we do get a change, I'm like, okay, great. This is a chance, another chance for me to expose something else about myself that could be interesting to this character. And I think what's great is that, especially with the three of us, you know, I think we carry a lot of the show in terms of the text and the songs. And watching the characters come alive through what I may have read Reverend Dan to be versus what Jeremiah brings it, or what I'm planning at the scene before I get there, which is the worst thing to do. Never do that. And then I show up and I look into Jordan's eyes, and I'm like, everything that I thought, fuck that shit. Like, excuse my language. But it's like, I'm just like, what's here is here, and I have to go what's happening right now, and that for me is the dream of why I became an actor.
Absolutely.
Well said. Yeah, I mean, there's no template. It's not like you're looking to either recreate or even avoid sometimes recreating another person's work.
Right.
Yeah.
You're making it up out of whole cloth. I mean, you have no, your compass is internal, right, for this?
Absolutely. And there's also that aspect of, you know, being the first person to develop that role, that everything that role is so uniquely you. You know, when you look at things, you can say what you like about, you know, for instance, Michael Crawford in The Phantom of the Opera. Anybody who has ever come after, you know, he was the template. That role is, for decades, it was that he developed that role. He was a part of it from the ground up, you know, and forever, Michael is built into that role. And you get to then do that, you know. So it's an incredible feeling to know that, you know, Reverend Dan could live on, and, you know, Cat Jones and these things. It's that's really what you get into the business for.
Wow,
And when you hear her
congratulations, guys.
sing,
I can't wait.
Yo,
Forget
Jordan
it.
sings
I
down,
cannot wait.
down,
It's
down.
it's one of those moments where you hear, you just go, why am I trying? Why am I trying?
I'm not going to get up tomorrow.
Forget about it.
To stop.
Wow.
Truth hurts, baby. It is what it is.
Well, congratulations to all of you. So now we got to make the second drink, and this time I normally get one of you guys to come up and make the drink. In New York, you're allowed to 10 bar at over 18. Yeah.
You can 10 bar.
You want
I
to?
You just can't
do
drink
it.
it.
All right. So you come on back
We'll
here.
see how this goes.
Come on,
We're gonna
girl.
do. Step right there. Okay, so this is another New Orleans drink, and it's called, well, the original is called a Ramos Gin Fizz, which is one of my favorite drinks to make. But I actually do a different version. I do what's called a deconstructed version, which comes out of sort of molecular mixology, where you take the ingredients that you would normally mix together and you pull them back apart. and kind of serve them in different ways. So this drink is, it's got gin, obviously. It has cream and sugar and some lime juice and orange blossom water and all kinds of stuff mixed together, and then you shake it up really good. But I'm actually going to take those ingredients and break them out, and I'm going to use vanilla gelato, and that's going to cover, yeah, the sugar and the cream and the egg, which is normally in it. We're going to do the gin, the lime juice separately, and it has some seltzer. We're going to put all that together on its own. So the very first thing I want you to do is you should have some glasses down there. Yes. So go ahead and pull those up. And yours is going to be exactly the same as ours, except yours is not going to have the gin in it. Yes. Sounds good?
Yeah.
All right, great. So we have some vanilla gelato, and go ahead and put a nice big scoop of vanilla gelato in each of those. And so, as I said, that gets us several ingredients. Cream, egg, and sugar is always in a Ramos Gin Fizz, and I think that they're even better if they're in a gelato first. So that's going to go in. Yes, a heaping scoop. Good job. So now you have a mixing tin right there. If you go ahead and fill that about halfway up with ice. Okay. Good job. And I want you to take our, right, are you having fun? Right under there is a citrus press. It's the yellow thing. Good, so I want you to put 4 halves of the lemon. You're going to squeeze 4 halves, and you're going to hold this end.
Okay, this goes this way.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, lemon?
Yeah, lime. Yeah, just like that. And just squeeze it right in.
Come on, press it, press it. Come on.
I'm strong! Oh.
There you go.
Okay, okay.
And you have a garbage right on the right. There you go.
Oh,
and
yeah, here we
4
go.
of those.
2.
Love it.
You don't have to go to the gym today.
Yep.
Yeah, my triceps are, oh yeah, working. 3
And 1 more.
Oh, you guys are gonna love this drink.
Good. I can feel it. I better,
Okay.
or I'll send it back.
Okay, now you have a little bit of simple syrup over here in that clear carafe. And I want you to take that jigger, very good, and you're going to use the large end, and that's 1 ounce, because we only want about a 1/4 ounce per drink. So go ahead and fill that up and then dump that in. Lovely.
Great.
Good. I think she's having too much fun. Now take the glass and put it on top of the tin, and pull it to one side and just twist it until it locks. You'll feel it lock. Great. Now put one hand on top of the tin, the other hand on the bottom. Good, and then shake it like you mean it.
Shake what your mama gave
Good
ya.
job, yeah.
Good? Is it
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Okay, now go ahead and pop that off, and if you just pull it, and
Jam
very,
again.
very good. I love it. And there's a strainer right on top of that tin.
Great.
Great. Now, before we do this, I want to fill these glasses with ice.
Okay.
There should be an ice scoop down there. Just go ahead and fill those all the way with ice. Beautiful.
Guys, maybe I should rethink my career.
I don't know, not from what I hear of your singing voice.
Let's stick to your day job.
Lovely. Now there's a bottle of gin. It's the blue bottle.
Okay.
You're going to pick that up, and I'm going to line 3 of these up. Nope, that's the rum. Yep, it's the blue bottle right there. Now, I want you to turn it all the way upside down and count to 2 over each of those. So you're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay.
Ready? Not okay. That's fine. Nope, that's fine. So that will not be yours.
Great.
There you go.
Oh.
See what we're doing? Good.
Okay, so
one more. Yep.
1.
And then 1, 2.
1, 2.
And then 1, 2. Fabulous.
You guys are gonna have some fun.
Good.
Okay.
Now take a red straw and put it in this one so we know which one is yours, because we want to mix. We don't want to get this wrong.
Indeed.
Good. Now, right on the gun, there's that's called a soda gun. Yep, you know what that is.
Yes.
And you're gonna press the soda button and fill this right up to the top.
Oh, that's the fizz part.
That's the fizz part. Good.
Good?
Yeah, it looks like an egg cream. If any of you guys grew up in New York, you know what an egg cream is.
Limbrook.
Exactly.
Wow.
And then the last thing we need is some orange blossom water.
Okay.
So that's right here. I want you to go ahead and put your finger on top of the straw so when you lift it out, the orange blossom water stays in it. Yeah, and you just want a couple drops. So you're just going to release just for a second over each one. Good, and then the next one, and then the next one, and then you can get a little more for yours.
Well, that's a neat trick. I didn't know
Yeah.
that's how you
Good.
That was a lot.
That's okay. You like orange blossom water?
I guess now I do.
Good. And then you can put real straws in all of them.
Oh, you better like.
And
this
that is our
drink.
Ramos Gin Fizz
Wow.
float.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at you even doing the straw trick.
Don't want my hands to be all over your straw if I can even get it out.
No, that's fine. That's wonderful.
We trust you.
Good.
Thanks.
Let's see how she did, guys.
All right.
Oh Lord. I kind of don't want to know how I did, so just
I
don't
think
say.
you did fine.
You did great.
All right.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Stir that up a little.
Sweet cheers.
Cheers. We
Cheers.
should definitely cheers.
Always
To
cheers.
Okay, look me in the eye. Look me in the eye. I don't want bad luck.
Look at the head on that. That is beautiful. You
Oh.
did a great
Did a
job.
Great job.
Thank you. Thank
Here we
you.
go.
Oh,
Ooh.
nicely done.
Ooh.
Very
good.
good.
Nice.
Very good job,
Love it.
Jordan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jordan, good job.
That is awesome. Jordan, Jaylani, and Jeremiah of Sweetie. How can they find the show?
They can go to SWEETEETheMusical.com, and if you do any of our social media, it's always Sweetie Musical.
I love it.
Hashtag Sweetie Music.
Yeah.
Thank you
Tweet us,
so
Instagram us.
much. I can't wait to see the show.
Thank you so much. We're so
Please
looking
come
forward to
see
it.
the Bible whenever you want.
For sure.
Awesome. Folks, thank you so much. You can check us out on BroadwayBartender.com. You'll find all the recipes as well as links to Sweetie the Musical. See you next week. Drink well, drink responsibly. That is wonderful. Thank you. You guys were great. Yeah. Good job, guys. Good job. Nice drink.
Oh yeah.
How are your mocktails? Good.
Thanks, man.
Oh, thank you guys. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wonderful.
Thank you.
You can sing now. No pressure.